My name is Kayla Schultz.
My name is Zach Zollers.
Rosemary Angelo.
My name is Seth Gittner.
I didn't know I wanted to be in film and television and all that until the summer between my junior and senior year of high school. And I thought I was going to go into business, which is boring, and I would never want to do that. No offense to anyone in business, but I like making up stories, and I'm just like, I see them like play out in my head like they were movies. Like anytime I'd read a book, which isn't often, but anytime I would, I would imagine it as if it was a movie. And I started getting all these really good ideas, and I thought, there's no point in me making these ideas in my head if no one's going to see them. So that's when I decided that I should try to pursue like actually making movies, and that I had good enough ideas to be made, and that some of those ideas could actually like really affect someone in a positive way. So that's when I decided that TRF would be the way to go, and I chose Syracuse because of Newhouse.
Started off undergrad, got a Bachelor of Arts in Communications. More notably, it was Mass Media and Communications. It was about my junior year when we had about $2 million donated to our program. We had a very old radio station prior to that. Basically, the computers were like right out of the 80s. Hardcore like box PCs, nothing small about them. It was outrageous. But we moved into a new building, got brand new iMacs, fully like redone radio station, brand new TV studio. The TV studio also kind of worked as a fully operating recording studio. Brand new C24 controller that we have here in Newhouse as well. It was beautiful. So prior to that, everything was on like the rhetoric side, comm ethics, all that kind of stuff, public speaking, what it means to communicate to people, how to get your ideas across in a proper way. And now we kind of started getting the production stuff out, which was sweet. And I got into that and I fell in love instantly.
So I made sure that when I was in high school, I just loved photography. I always wanted to do it. So I looked for schools that for photojournalism, photography. I didn't really know what type of photography that I wanted to do at the time. So I went to Rochester Institute of Technology. I studied photography, photojournalism. I found that I was really into it. I worked for a small paper when I was growing up. My mother was a reporter, all these different things. My brother was a reporter. Journalism was like in my blood. So essentially moved on to work at smaller papers, then a medium-sized paper, and got into the website, doing multimedia, and eventually took me to teaching. So I came right from the industry to teaching.
When I came to Syracuse, I actually had no idea that I wanted to study anything in communications. I came in as an English major. And about midway through first semester, I had a bit of a mid-college crisis and decided I didn't want to be an English major. And then I realized I go to a school with one of the top communications programs in the nation. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that the things I like to do, like writing, translated really well into a lot of the programs in the TRF major. So I looked more into it, decided I really liked the idea of it, and then I started looking into applying. I didn't get in my first attempt, which was after the end of freshman year, but coming around again, I kept trying, pulled my grades up, and got in after first semester of sophomore year.
And I realized that I loved working in sports. I played sports all my whole life. I played baseball in college, and I really liked the live atmosphere of sports. So I knew that I wanted to continue on, but I wasn't exactly sure if I wanted to do live events or film, because I always had a passion for film. So I took a year off. I worked on film sets in Detroit. I worked on a TV show in Detroit, and then I also did the live event stuff. So basically I did all three things that I liked, and I realized film moved way too slow for me. I didn't want to spend 3 hours setting up lights to take a 20-second clip, you know. I'm not into that. TV was alright, but being on set wasn't nearly as fun as being in like baseball stadium or a football stadium, down on the sidelines, you know. You're in the moment.
The thing I like most about TRF, well, kind of everything.
I feel like there's really a lot of creative leeway. One of the reasons I didn't like my old major as much as it's open to interpretation, is very much by the book. You know, you're going to be a teacher, you're going to be a librarian, or you're going to take it and go pre-law. You're going to do something without a lot of creative wiggle room. And I've always been writing short stories, coming up with video ideas, writing song lyrics, basically any kind of creative outlet. And I really liked that aspect of it. It also is a very interesting field, and I feel like it's fast-paced. While it is competitive, if you've got the tools and you get the drive, and if you do what you want to do, I feel like you can make it, and that's probably a really rewarding experience.
My favorite thing about TRF is how, when you look at it carefully, you see the great value in it, and how through entertainment we really turn ourselves inside out. We use entertainment to exercise our own sense of courtship, our own sense of identity, our own sense of how to live a good life or pursue happiness. And good stories allow us to really look deep into ourselves and consider our contributions in life, our significance in life, make sense of our life. And I think you know, a lot of people just sort of think that it's mindless, worthless escapism. But there's a lot of really important things that are going on, and having been part of this industry and knowing how much goes into these stories and how much conversation and in-depth conversation and introspection is involved in the making of even a reasonable script, how much thought goes into it, and how much care and concern by the makers of these stories to really touch people and give them something in the way of not only a great viewing experience, but a great thought process.
The TRF side is very open to lots of different types of classes. Is the amount of credits you have to make in order to become a television, radio, film grad. You can take lots of different types of classes. So you could take classes in multimedia photography design if you're in TRF. It's really, you know, the kind of thing, different things for different people. So if you want to be a screenwriter, TRF is the place to be. If you want to really shape your eye and be a better camera person, visual person, then multimedia photography design is that side. So it really depends.
It's hard to pick a thing I like the most. I like the stories, obviously, and I like how certain television shows and certain movies have such a profound effect on people, and how your mood or your whole entire week can be instantly changed by like one funny movie that'll cheer you up, or you could get really depressed because of a really sad one, and it just has such an effect on the way you feel, and it can just change you instantly, and I find that very fascinating.
It's really nice when you see people coming out of a movie theater or a TV show, and even myself, when I feel like that was a great movie, I felt that, and I got something from it. That's my favorite thing, is to share in that sense of fulfillment, that you give people something that they don't have any other words to describe what it is about than usually it was great. That was great. And being part of the process that generates that.
I love music, so I'd love to, in an ideal world, do something combining music with TRF. So be that making concert documentaries, working on promoting bands through taking video and photos, things like that would be really cool to do. But the more I take classes, the more I like the idea of screenwriting and maybe going that path. So I'm really at a crossroads. I could go either way. I could look into screenwriting or producing, or I could go into probably directing and looking more at covering live stuff.
I've started writing a television show, and I never thought I would do television because movies were always the ultimate goal, and I had different ideas that were so fit to movies, but I came up with this one recently, and it's like such an epic television show. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. But right now, my ultimate goal is just to have it made. Like, I have like the more goals in the future. Like, obviously I want to be very successful and like be one of those names that people recognize even though you're just a writer. But right now I'm so excited about this show that I just want, like, I can already see it in my head. It's like I'm already watching it, so I want other people to see it and to talk about it, and I want it to have life because it's worth it.
Some advice that I'd have for some TRF kids coming up through the program, whether they're grads or undergrads, the big thing that Newhouse has to offer is just a wide variety of everything.
Yeah, I've been in this major for, what, 2 months, 3 months? I don't know how much advice I can give you besides do it if you like it. Everybody tells me, oh my god, a lot of people don't like Com 117, and if you don't like Com 117, you should probably change your major. But the thing is, I don't mind spending 11 hours in the lab working on that documentary project we had to do because I liked it. So I guess that means that it's something I'll be able to do. I'd say that's my advice. Find something that you don't mind spending countless hours and late nights on, because if that's what you're going to do with your life, might as well enjoy it.
You'll find out sooner rather than later kind of like what you like to do. Say you like to edit. You're going to take more editing program, like classes, learn Avid. You'll get in your production class and be like, all right, like you go shoot, you direct, I want to edit. That's good and all, you'll find what you love, but also take advantage of the variety. Take some of those, you know, being the producer opportunities or being the director. Even though you may not want to do it, you may not do it in your career, knowing how it works when you're a director and what you have to do and how to get a performance out of an actor, that's huge. Because when you're an editor, you'll see what they did to get that out of them. You'll know what a good take is. Do the producing opportunities. See what it is to handle like a micro budget. You know, you're gonna have like $10. You know, go pay lunch. You know, but figure out like budgeting, scheduling, getting people together on the right spot, handling all the discrepancies.
You never know when a good idea is just gonna pop into your head, and you could lose it the next day if you don't write it down. So I would take advantage of whatever comes into your mind and really try to start pursuing it early so that you'll have it later on. And even if you end up hating it later, at least you'll have something written down.
Just learn as much as you possibly can, because that's one thing Newhouse in Syracuse does very well, that once you're out there, you know a lot about everything.
Very important to distinguish yourself as an effective worker in that environment, because often a lot of people will just go in and, with a sense of entitlement that they are, you know, now they're ready to direct a film and do all the fun stuff. It's something you have to earn, and it comes through basic processes of establishing that you know how to do good hard work. You are a reliable, effective worker, and you're selfless. You understand the cause of the company you're working for, what they need, and you are very good at delivering that. And when you become reliable for something like that, then you start to be able to call your own shots.